as CEOs, you are not here. In fact, you know the least amount of answers, and the more you go up, the higher you go up, the less information that you have, the least amount of answers you have. And you need to realize that. You're not here to instill confidence through your answers. You're here to instill confidence through leading the team.
And if we think about the responsibility model, if we think about Rackham's communicating behaviors, if we think about the vision exercise, if we think about like every module, every chapter, every conversation that we have on some level boils down to being aware and then making a deliberate choice based on that awareness.
Trying to elevate ourselves against our competitors. And so often you're thinking, oh, what are they thinking? What are they doing? What are they going to feed back? And actually that moment of thinking, I can't do anything about that, but we can give it our all. We can really think about what do they need, and we can try to offer some thoughts and perspectives that maybe they'd never considered. And actually changing it around to that way of thinking is so freeing. It's like a weight off your shoulders.
Approach to leadership and a bit of belief was, but it wasn't belief in the future, it was just belief in them, I think was really helpful. Loads of clear communication, loads of it, and about what I knew and what I didn't know, as I said earlier, but loads of clear communication. But then importantly, a very clear and articulated commitment, even if I didn't know what the plan was, commitment to developing and investing in the people themselves.
Spending some time on that, understanding that with your friends and family, with your work colleagues is important, because once you get a bit more of a sense of that, your day-to-day engagement and satisfaction lifts almost instantly, because what you're working towards, even if it's a long way away, you know you're doing it, something that's important to you.
Things that tangibly changed for me were appreciation. Like that was a tangible shift that I made a purposeful decision to be better at, which was making sure that I was acknowledging people for their contributions, how they made me feel, all of those things, because I wasn't doing it before. I was definitely a person who would always be looking for what do we need to fix, as opposed to really showing appreciation of people. And that now, what I love about it now is it's just part of what I do. I don't
better we could do as a team than to go through CTP, because it touches all of those parts of those roles and enables you to lead in an entirely different way, which, like you say, from a cultural point of view, would absolutely feed into the organization from the top down.
The trainer creates an environment where, you get to think. The communication behavior different, maybe not for the first half day when you haven't looked at it yet, but as soon as you start to become more self-aware of, shutting out, cutting off, proposing, and you're not, any of the green behaviors, then you kind of do think, okay, let's have a practice at it. Let's give it a shot.
In The Living Leader that actually changed my whole perspective about leadership. And that's that any person can be a leader, whether you're in an organization or whether you're in a family. We're leading our parents sometimes. My Fee's children sometimes lead me. And I think when you switch your mindset to that idea, and then you want to embed that into your company, I think amazing things can happen.
We're disempowering youngsters quite a lot. There's a lot of, you shouldn't do that. And a little bit like you were talking with your own children, Penny, we're managing them very, very carefully and not enabling them to take responsibility, to make their choices, to learn from them. We're very, very focused on, I think, narrowing down what they do.
Different approach to seeing how you could change the behaviour to get the team engaged, involved, building on their ideas. All the language of communication was really quite an eye-opener.
I think at early age is possible thinking about that. Just what would I love my future to look like if I knew anything was possible? Because then you can get, as I said, when you're clear on that, you're able to make better decisions. And I think if you can start doing that from an earlier age, I think it will, progression. I think a happy life. It's about direction, not speed.